All right, we're live. All right.
Wow.
Wow, we did it.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you, sir.
Yeah, this is we're mixing it up with the Tuesday thing.
Yeah, I like it. Well, last week we did Tuesday.
Oh yeah, you're right. We're not mixing it up with the Tuesday thing. I mean,
No.
I meet with you on Tuesdays and Fridays. It's like every day is
Sure.
James Day for me.
Every day is James Day, and that's a great day for you. Hey, everyone in the chat. Yes, I pressed the wrong buttons. Ryan and Frank and Jim and
You press the eject
Vin.
button.
I was like,
It
well,
was
there's a webcam button for the coffee cam, but it
Mhm.
has the same icon as the scene, which is just like me. So
Right.
that's a problem.
They're both a coffee cup.
Yeah. They're both just an image of a webcam, so that's the problem. But I
Mm.
did make I have my damn good coffee, and
Hmm.
today it is a Trader Joe's coconut coffee cold brew concentrate.
Ooh.
So you take
Okay.
a half a cup of the concentrate and a cup of
Hmm.
water, 2 to 1, mix it together, deliciousness happens. It's very, very good, and it only has 10 calories. 10
Wow.
calories. That's it, yeah. Because it's
That's
just coffee.
impressive.
It's not,
Yeah.
it's cold brew, but just with coconut tones to it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Tones. It's good.
Cool.
Frank and Jape NL, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. How are you, buddy? How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. So I'm I've got some vacation coming up end of this week. So I'm trying to get everything together for that. We have our ASP.NET Core 3.0 Preview 6 release party this afternoon on our community stand up there. So I'm
Nice.
excited about that thing happening.
I will definitely watch that. I'm excited to see how I should be using that and getting it up
Okay.
and running.
And my week this weekend, I converted our swimming pool to a saltwater pool,
So
which
no
is
no chlorine
well, so there is
or
chlorine, but the chlorine comes from splitting salt into sodium and
mm,
chloride by running electricity through titanium veins, which I don't know. Yeah?
okay. You know
Yeah.
who loves pools? Uh
Um,
I mean, there's a lot of people that work at Microsoft, so probably more
uh,
than just this one. But my good friend John Dick, who works on our components
oh,
team,
okay.
he is a pool connoisseur. Like he built in this like pool application that helps you
Whoa.
monitor all your stuff. I think it's called Pool Math or something. But yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, I'll get him in contact because if you
Okay.
just convert your pool, he loves pools. He's Canadian, so he's like super friendly, and nice and great human being. So yeah, do that.
I need an app. That's very
Yeah,
cool. I was happy when I turned it on and it all worked.
that's amazing. That's a great
Yeah.
day, just in
Yeah.
general. Yeah. I don't. What did I do this weekend? I have no idea. I don't even remember. Um,
Right.
yeah, it was. It went and it came. What
You
did we
know,
do?
I read mysteries. Sometimes I'll read like a fiction book. There's one that was about this murder that happened 19 years ago, and people are like, "So then, what did you do?" Well, first I got a cup of coffee, and then I walked over here, and I'm like, I don't even know if I ate dinner yesterday. Like, I mean, right?
I went to the store today, and I had to go get some cereal, and then I came home, and it was like 11. I was like, did I eat anything today? Like, I don't. I've only been up for 4 hours, but I don't even know what I did. What's going on?
Right.
So, Alex Headley, thank you so much for the resub. 3 months on the Twitch Prime. You only get one of those a month, and we're glad that you gave it to me.
So,
Um,
so a few people had said earlier in the chat, no audio. Is that
that's
all fixed?
that's fixed because I hit the wrong buttons.
Oh, okay.
But over here
That
it
was
looks
the no
good.
button
It
business.
looks
Okay.
good. Yeah. Hmm.
Excellent news.
So if people don't know, on Tuesdays, Mr. John Galloway and we do some live coding.
Hmm.
We work on a brand new live.net website for the .NET community stand-ups, which is pretty
Yep.
awesome. And we already have a live.asp.net, but we want a new one that encompasses everything it's already open source. That's even more open source, but is architected in a way that can be made for mobile applications, other things. Open API. So open API. Right now, everything's
Exactly.
jammed
And
in
can
there.
work with Twitch, right?
Hmm.
Because we've expanded the ASP live.asp.net just works with YouTube. So we want to work with Twitch. We want to have show notes that are in Markdown that people can contribute to. We want to, like you said, we want to work with all the different platforms, so not just ASP.net on that one, but like show all the shows that we've got going on. So
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so we can have little tags. We can do a bunch of little things, make it all pretty. I know nothing about how the internet works. John knows everything about how the internet works. So we've been building out our website. Do you want to head over to your screen and see what we have so far?
Sure, sure. Okay. Yep. Ready to go. So here, let me bring over. So there's my thing. Okay, so the site we're building is going to end up replacing this sort of thing,
Yes.
right? And so what we've got so far, I guess I should run it. We have a basic site that connects with the YouTube API, and it pulls down list of shows. We also then built out some mock data, so we grab the current feed as of last week and we save that, so that we don't always have to hit the live feed.
Yep.
Which will be good for unit tests and will also be good for developing locally and then working towards caching in the future and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
well, look at that. Boom.
yeah, so that's that. Now that's the feed as of last week. If I ran this now, not pointing at this at the JSON file on disk, then we would see we've got another show coming up in a few hours.
Oh yeah.
So there's that.
That's
So
right.
and then and I don't know, maybe we want to refresh that feed from last week. I forget actually. I was saying this last week. How did we actually save out that file, right? We did it from inside the inside Visual Studio.
Yep.
In the watch window.
Yeah, we went into the watch window. We took the JSON blob and then we shoved it into a file inside the
Yep.
solution.
Yep.
It's pretty
So
cool.
I could update that.
Yeah.
And then this is our project board.
Yep.
And so this is all the stuff we've done so far. And then these are some things I was thinking of getting set up for today.
Yeah, so we already did the homepage, YouTube integration, basic website, mock data. We have a .NET Standard library. We're showing a list of data.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do we want to do today?
Yeah, so I was thinking first thing is just set up basic functional health checks and just set up automated testing. People tell me it's good to have testing in place early on, and we can. I'm not a whole TDD person, test driven development, but I am a fan of having tests in place early so that when something goes bad in the website, then you write a test that'll verify you don't break that thing again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and especially now with ASP.NET Core, has health checks built in that are pretty. It's really easy to do. So, and then some other things I thought would be cool. One is we do have a show coming up this afternoon on the ASP.NET Community Stand-Up. So if we did refresh the feed, we could actually show a countdown header, and have the kind of start working towards what happens when the site is about to go live and maybe even when it does go live. And then another thing is the current site doesn't have any show notes. So once the show's done, you can click through, you can watch it on YouTube, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice to have show notes and have them in Markdown format so other people can contribute to them.
Nice.
So the idea there is just have some show notes in Markdown and just throw them in there.
Yeah, because right now we were showing the description, but it's so long, it's just too involved,
Yeah.
that we don't even probably need that description. I mean, mostly
it's kind of boilerplate anyways, right? Because every week it says kind of the same stuff.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and really it's the title, and what we want to do is strip down just so much of this, right? I mean, if we look at that,
let me just start now because. Yeah. I mean, really, that description is hurting my eyes now that you've pointed it out.
Now that I've pointed it out, yes.
We'll just do that.
And
right? I mean, at a minimum, we can get rid of description. There's more we could do too, as far as de-uglification, but I guess we have a separate task for that, making them all the same height and all that kind of stuff. But already that's looking better to me. And then maybe this go somewhere expands out or goes to a specific one page for each show.
Yep.
And shows could have an embedded player, and that's where the show notes are and all that kind of stuff.
I like that.
Cool.
Cool.
I need to mute this tab. There we go. So let's get going. I'm thinking first we'll just turn on those health checks. Does that
Yeah.
sound cool?
Yeah. So what is a health check, and why do I care about a health check?
Yeah, so the idea is there's really good docs for health checks or for all ASP.NET stuff. I'm really
Mm.
happy with that. But the idea here is if I browse to /health for my website, it'll return a thing that just says healthy.
Oh.
And okay, so why would I need that? And then you can also build more in-depth ones. You can say if I'm able to connect to my database, then return healthy, right? So you can have things that test specific stuff.
Okay. This is
Um,
built into ASP.NET. This is like an
yeah,
ASP.NET thing.
yep. And so some reasons for doing that is well, there's a lot of stuff, but one is that I can verify. There's always a thing where with unit testing, a lot of unit tests say like, if I run this function, does it return this value? And a lot of times that's way too micro to be
Yeah.
very useful. You know, it's like if I hit this controller, does it return? Well, it's always going to return that thing, and it's not. It could be more useful, right? So if I browse to my website, does the website come up? You know, that's actually pretty useful.
That's yeah. I mean, that's always a tricky one. I think of different types of tests, right? There's functional tests, and then there's logical tests. So for like a mobile app, like I'd be testing my view models. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I mean, it's even hard to how much of a view model you test, but like to me, it's always like when I worked at Canon, it was if I put in something, I expect something to come out, like addition, like add two numbers. You type in 2 gives you 4, right? Or 2 and -2 that gives you 0
Mm-hmm.
back. It's kind of like the functional test, but it's always been harder. Like, how much testing do you do, and what do you look for? Because yeah, is it that the website came up and also there's a list of shows on there, or that there's a countdown?
Right.
Like, how do you? Like, I could imagine we had a countdown timer, right? And we're like daytime now, and then we gave it like a week ago, or or I guess the show's in the future, so the show's like 2 hours from now, and then we want it to have a label, right? And that's like a
Mm-hmm.
calculating something. But like, what would this do
Yeah.
besides like the website works?
So I would consider if it's doing date math, I'd call that a unit test, and
Yeah.
that's just calling into a function and do I get a value back given some inputs. And that is, that's probably something where it'd be useful. Like let's test to make sure like leap years work and that kind of stuff, right? But then this is more of a functional test and can also be an integration test where you're needing to see, like, for instance, you can do ones that say, can I connect to my database, or can I connect to the YouTube API? Because if our website is up but we can't hit the YouTube API, then our website is in trouble, right? Or at least we need to know about it.
Okay, so this is sort of micro unit testing. It's like it's micro. These are the things that need to work to allow my website to work.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So this could be a good example of, yeah, like you said, the database, the YouTube API, the function, and it could be things that the function's using too, because maybe the function's down, or maybe the function's working, but the YouTube API is down. So you might even want to put that check inside of it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just sort of anything that your website needs. Okay, cool. I like it.
So, okay, so this is pretty easy to do. Going into my website here, into my startup. So first of all, in configuring the services, I can go in and I can say, here, oops, I need to stop running.
Can you make your fonts a little bit bigger? I am streaming in 1080p. This is my test to see if 1080p with 2 people work. So yeah, if you want to bump up your fonts.
Okay, yeah. So normally, Control Shift. There we go.
But how did you do it? Control Shift plus?
So it's basically Control greater than, or Control Shift, like the greater than sign. Yeah.
I always forget that because I always thought it was Control plus, because it
would make sense.
Visual Studio for Mac, it's like Command plus, but then I always go down to the bottom left now, and I just set it manually.
Yeah, I mean, and you can do that, but then you're juggling like the difference between the scale and the So.
Anyways, cool.
All right, so there's that. So now we've registered that health checks are available, and now we can put them to work. And so the very simplest case is just where you say use health checks.
Well, someone says Control plus spin the mouse wheel.
Oh yeah, I always forget the mouse wheel.
It's there. It's there. That's right.
You're right. So there we go. Woo! Ooh, and it looks fun too. And it now works in the terminal also.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
but for some reason, I just have trouble remembering the mouse wheel.
Too many ways to do one thing, I say.
Yep. Okay, so now if I run this again.
Okay, so you just baseline, add health checks, use health checks, and that you're setting up the route there. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this now, if I browse to health, I'm just checking that it works, right?
Yeah. Boop.
So you'll see way in the corner it says healthy.
Nice.
So now this is the absolute simplest, and what I'm trying to do is make it easy to add other tests or health checks in the future, right? So there's other more advanced health checks you can do. And if I go into the docs for health checks, like it has all the stuff, like you can do metrics. So you can say, if it takes too long to hit my API, then I'm unhealthy. Or if I'm not able to hit my database or whatever it is, right? So here's an example of like a database contacts health check, and so yeah, so you can go through and do different stuff. And then if it returns unhealthy, this is actually something you can register with monitoring, or like if it's for a website, you can have it do something like load balance. It can automatically like load balance to the other server or something. So,
nice.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Do we want to add one for the YouTube API?
Sure. Well, let's hook up a test that points to this.
Okay.
And then you know what I mean?
Oh,
and then we can do the YouTube one and we'll actually see it fail and then fix it.
Okay, that sounds good. Also, can you make so everyone was asking why do they see two of me? There's like your little Skype window.
Yeah, where do I put you?
A little bit down, but a little bit up a little bit. Right there. Okay, now make it, slide it a little bit over, like there we go, a little bit smaller. Yeah, oh, perfect.
Okay, good.
We have that there so John can still see me on his single screen.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Now you see one of me. Now just remember those exact coordinates, John.
Yeah.
For the future. So.
All right. Okay. So what was I going to do? I was going to add in a unit test project.
Yes.
So
now that's a separate project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll do an X unit.
Now here's a good question for you.
Yep.
How do I know what to use? You just went to X unit, but isn't there other testing things that are in here that I could use?
Yeah. So if I go test, you've got MS test, you've got unit test. I usually use X unit.
Okay.
Or N unit. They're kind of more full featured. The MS. So I don't know. I mean,
it's a preference, is what you're saying. It's whatever you prefer. So you prefer X unit because you've worked with it for longer? Question mark.
Yes, and also a lot of the like .NET and ASP.NET unit tests are in XUnit. So it's but there are different styles, and over time they've kind of like evolved so that they can do different things that the others do. But for instance, like XUnit has this has like facts and theories and stuff where you can test multiple things. For instance, here if I go in here. ASP.NET Core XUnit docs. I think there's a thing here. So
you have fast internet, John.
Is it? I don't know. Kind of
seems fast.
So here, actually, this is kind of nice. They're relatively agnostic here, showing all these different ones. So if I say like with XUnit, you can do stuff like use inline data. So you can say write one test using multiple different inputs, and you can do them all like that. So that's kind of a nice thing.
So each of them kind of have some specific features.
Yeah, and then of course you can go out to the site and learn more about like what's special about each one and stuff. But,
also, C# Fritz, welcome. But he also wants to validate.
Hey, Jeff.
He wants to validate if you actually have one screen or did I just lie?
I have 3 screens.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the problem is I have this problem where like do I put you over on this screen here? Because if I do, then I can't. Then I'm always like looking over sideways.
Looking over here. Yeah.
I can't have that temptation going on. So.
I see. He wants to get that James 24/7 main line of sight, basically.
I cannot wait until they have the little pixel camera embedded right in my screen, right? And then I can look straight at it and because that's another thing is my webcam is up here and
Yeah.
it's
That would be convenient. I actually go over here when I code, and I have to always like look over for the chat like all the time. But yeah.
right.
Also,
Yep.
Smob UK says every developer should have at least 3 screens. I only have two. So
Well,
I can't afford 3. That's my problem. I have one that's 2K, and then I have one that's just 1080p.
so I got 3, and they're actually touch screens, and I got them years ago on a sale, but they're not huge. I mean, they're 1080p, and I don't know, but you use them for years and years, right? So
yeah. Oh, the other thing here, so this project is just a .NET Core project. It's not an ASP.NET Core project.
right.
And this means that if we put some logic into our shared project, which is .NET Standard, we can test it too.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. We can test all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And including, I mean, I don't know if we'd want to, but if we put a mobile project in here, we could start testing stuff there too.
We could, and additionally, XUnit and NUnit have device runners, so you can run them in an iOS or an Android app. It's cool.
So there you go.
We use XUnit for Xamarin Essentials. I was just pretending I didn't know anything.
See, you're pretending to be the dumb guy.
I think if you look at my GitHub repos, I believe that I use all 3 of them. Like through different projects, I'm like, this one's an MS test. No, this one's an NUnit test. No, this one's an XUnit test. Just so you know.
Well, so what are your thoughts on them? What do you end up using?
Well,
just kind of bounce between, or
I have for a decade used NUnit, just forever, basically. And when I worked at Canon, we used NUnit, and when I worked after that, we used NUnit. And originally for Xamarin work, we had really only NUnit Lite support, so we only had like NUnit support for a long time, so I was just used to that. But I do like the inline data quite a bit, and that's why we actually switched over to it for Xamarin Essentials because of the inline data, which we thought that was a nice feature too.
Yeah, cool. I actually I'm doing, and I'd mentioned before, I'm doing some of this stuff based on a talk I've done over time called 1 Hour Makeover, ASP.NET Core 1 Hour Makeover. And so these are things that I show during that thing where I actually include several things. So this, for instance, here, this is including so this is actually using a cool feature called it's the Web Application Factory. So it's actually spinning up a very lightweight version of your site. And to clarify what that means is, it's very quick to run unit tests that just test a function. If you want to test the output of a website, that's usually a bigger deal because you're actually spinning up the website and then you're using something like Selenium or all these things to actually go and ping the site and then you're parsing output, and that's so there's a huge amount of overhead to that. This is a nice kind of middle ground where you've got this web application factory that you're spinning up.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to just throw this in and then I'll dial it down. But so I think if I go here, I'll have to change the namespace again, but we can deal with that.
And only one test I see, live standup.test. So I appreciate there's only one test in this one. To change the solution name. Maybe you can clarify. C# Fritz already answered this, but Ancient Coder was asking, is health check useful without unit tests? C# says you can use it to monitor, connect to endpoints. Are there other things that you can do with this health check?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing that I was pointing out there is like if you're using it in Azure for things like or for running multiple slots or for traffic routing, if let's say one instance or one slot is down, right? I'm running multiple instances on my site and one is down for whatever reason.
Yep.
Maybe I'm running across several different, I've got one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. And for whatever reason, my East Coast one is down, right? Then I'm able to direct traffic to the one that's up. Or if one is faster or more overloaded, right? Yeah. So there's actually a ton you can do with this. A cool example too is Scott Hanselman has written some blog posts on this where his website, Hanselman, it's his podcast, was like he's migrated it over the ages from like really old versions of ASP.NET, and he had some stuff where he needed to do he needed his redirects to work.
Mm.
And so he actually like wrote all these health checks and stuff verifying, that all the redirects and APIs and everything continue to work.
That'd be cool, yeah. Because often porting over legacy websites like I've done in the past, those are one of the very tricky things. And then people go and modify things, and you're like, oh, this crazy route that I set up like no longer works. And you're like, great.
Right. Yep. So, I mean, yeah, there's a ton of stuff you can do with that. And it really kind of adds to like how useful things can be when you're taking it from being just like testing input and output of a function to like a full on, testing quite a bit more.
Gotcha.
So,
cool.
Yep. So I'm not running the enterprise version. When I do, no, I am running enterprise. So I should be seeing, I'm not sure why I'm not seeing live unit testing.
But do you think you got to turn it on?
There you go.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
At one time, I thought you had to turn it on for each project. But I don't know. I thought maybe unless they changed it. At least in 2017, I remember that you had to like right-click on the project and then turn it on, ? If you right-click on that live standup.test.
So now it's doing running tests and stuff.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So now I'm seeing some like failed stuff. So now I can try and figure out what's going on with it, right? So what actually is happening, because if I run, let's try and, when I ran the site before, we did see browsing to health returned healthy.
So what is this doing? We have basically it's going to go to slash
health
index / privacy in the first one above it.
Mm-hmm.
That one's failing too.
Yeah, and so some of those I think we delete. We don't even have some of those, do we?
That could be why.
Well, no, actually we do have privacy.
We have privacy and an index. So that should work.
Yeah. So all of these should work. So I'm going to suspect maybe that just something's wacky.
You have to add it as a dependency or something?
I already did. Right, so there's privacy.
Mm-hmm.
There's home. And then / health. And those all return what I expected, right?
That looks good.
So sometimes with the test projects, like it's like the first time you do live test, I need to rerun the tests or something. I'm gonna just guess it's just test Windows, test Explorer.
There it is. Where to go? Somewhere. It's
there it is.
Down at the bottom.
It was underneath you.
Tricky. Okay. So each of those theories, because I see 4 tests, so each one of those inline datas is a test, basically.
Right. So there's 2 different ones. One is that the basic website, like browsing through the site, returns a 200. HTTP 200 just means okay, like the page came up, right? And then the other one is the health check. So I'm going to try and run selected tests, and we'll see, potentially just from it was turning on the live thing.
So you're saying this web application factory is spinning up like a hidden website? Kind of like?
No, what it does, so it spins up it runs through the startup, and it runs enough of the website so that it can return responses. So it runs all the middleware. So it handles all that kind of basic stuff. Now, I may have something, because I just pasted this in. It's maybe possible that something about my unit test is wacky. So let's look at that. What is the error? Yeah, let's look at that. So 3 were not run, line 23. Right?
Yeah.
So if I look at this,
we just run that one.
Could not find file or assembly. ASP.NET Core 2.2.0. So I may have something with just and I have run into with XUnit, there's versions where you need to have the right ASP.NET Core testing. And maybe I have the wrong version of that. So let's take a look at And I'm curious, I don't see the chat because it's underneath my screen. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Fritz is like, oh, you've got the wrong version there. This. People are saying this. Nope.
I
Okay.
don't see
Nope.
anything yet. You're good.
All right. So let's take a look. If I go in here and let's just check on the status of my NuGet packages. See what's available for updates.
Nothing. What's installed?
Installed.
Yeah, 220 of everything.
Yep.
It says it can't find.
Can't find test. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's this one here, and I need to.
That one's a Netcore 3.0 app. Is that allowed?
That's maybe the thing. Which I forget even what we did here.
Well, no,
this is 2.2.
The test is right. So go into the test. See, that's a 3.0 app. There you go.
That's it. What are we doing here?
Somebody's running a preview build of Visual Studio.
All
All
right.
I'm shocked that it didn't yell at you earlier, because should you be able to install a version 2.0 of ASP.NET Core or .NET Core stuff into a 3.0 project? That seems wrong, no?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to prevent you from doing that. Yeah, at least as of now in this build, it's not preventing, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so now good eyes on catching that. So now let's see if going in and manage NuGet packages and just see if it's generally happy with stuff. Updates there, right?
Do you update everything?
Yeah, I usually do, you know.
Why not? When in doubt, just update all NuGets.
Yeah.
That's not a recommendation.
It is for me. I'm like, if somebody's like, my phone's not working, I'm like, install every update possible. Like, what are you doing? Don't even talk to me until you've installed every new thing.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. So I have no idea what's going to happen now. I thought this was going to be like, hey, let's start off with something super easy.
I like easy things. So you told me you're like,
well, the health checks were easy.
Health checks were easy. You're like, yeah, I love unit testing, so unit testing is easy in the world of ASP.NET. That looks good. Succeeded.
Well, health checks are easy. Okay.
Could not find. What does it say fully? Could not find file or assembly ASP.NET Core
2.2.0. Why is it even looking for that?
Does it need to be, instead of this being a .NET Core app, does it need to be an ASP.NET Core app?
No, it should be just a .NET Core app. So one thing I could do is just delete this and re-add it as a .NET Core 2.2 app. That's maybe safer. You know what I'm saying?
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Do you have your sample thing that you were going through earlier, like your gist?
I do, but I do have that. It's like just copy paste to this. So I think I'm going to do that. You don't think so? You're not.
I want to try to get it working. You're just like deleting stuff.
All right. So it's trying to get 2.2.0, and maybe that's the thing. It's like, why is it going for 2.2.0?
Well, that's what we have. It's 2.2.0, right? I'm curious, do you have the project in which you've done this before, and then we can compare and contrast to CS Proj?
So I do, but it's on. Yeah, I do. Let me see.
In a GitHub somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. C# Fritz says he tried updating all of his packages to the latest ASP.NET Core Preview 6. That's risky. That his database driver didn't support it yet. His NPG SQL broke in 3P6.
So yeah, that's
very different.
But we're not even hitting the database.
We don't even have a database. What is a database?
What even is a database? So I've got one on my other computer. Okay. I don't have one handy. I feel like, here's my thoughts. I could.
I'm going to Google this for you.
Okay.
.NET integrates ASP.NET Core 2.2.
So I have this, but from like a.
Oh, does it say it can't find ASP.NET or hosting? Oh, here you go. Okay, so you know what
Oh,
so you need to add the app.
yeah. I didn't follow all the stuff, right?
Yep.
So the docs actually, I believe, tell me this. They're like, you need to convert. You need to.
You need to add that other package.
Yeah.
Now you're in the
So
wrong
I
one.
need. Is this? Yeah. It's an ASP.NET Core.
Yeah, that
So
one.
So I need Net Core App 2, and I need this, right?
Yeah, and then 220. Because that's what I think it was happening is like we didn't tell it that it actually is an ASP.NET Core app, and this package kind of tells it. It gives it the additional scaffolding that it needs.
Yeah.
And that sort of matches it. So we probably wouldn't use this test project for the Xamarin apps. We'd probably have another one. This would probably be livestandup.web.tests. That's what I would rename this to.
Yep.
And then we may have another one.
Yes or no. I mean, having the package reference wouldn't necessarily.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it would still work because we'd have runner projects for iOS and Android. Yeah, we could do that. Does that make sense? Okay, you might be right. Oh, there we go.
There we go. This is frustrating because I have done this in this talk before, and I have this always in my notes, like, remember to add that thing, because like you're saying, so this is part of the thing where they made changes with ASP.NET Core where there's this whole ASP.NET Core app.
Yeah.
And that is actually, if you look in the dependencies,
in there.
It's in here, ASP.NET Core app. And for the test project to be able to like do all the ASP.NET Core testing, it needs that reference. Right.
Now, the question is, if you were to go add a new project right now, like to the solution,
I'm
kind of curious here. So
okay.
Do it. So add new project on there.
All right, add.
In all those billion options, find that ad. Okay,
Yep.
So now before you went and did an XUnit test here. I'm curious though, if you add a ASP.NET Core web app, just tap on that second one, and then hit next. Next again. We'll delete it. Is there a test project in here?
No, there's not.
See, I was hoping like, maybe there's a specific web test project pre-configured, but apparently not.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Vlad, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
Cool. All right. Well, we did. This actually is something where it is good to like here. So run all tests.
This is good feedback for the team, basically.
Well, it's part of it. Like it is like a known thing, and if you go through the testing doc, so this is part of the thing. I was in the docs for just .NET testing, and if I did instead, if I was like testing ASP.NET Core XUnit, then it would take me to the other one.
That makes sense.
Okay, so let's recap what we did. Number one is we relearned that when you're writing an XUnit test, you need a reference to ASP.NET Core app. This is in both the ASP.NET Core docs and the XUnit docs, but I didn't read the docs. I just went for it.
Who reads the docs anyways?
Right.
I do. That's correct.
Yes. We did set up some very simple tests, and we saw here we've got live unit testing, which is neat. So like if I go right and I change that, it's actually going to rerun the test, and that test broke, but the others kept working, right?
Nice. Cool.
So that is kind of, like I can see as I'm writing things, and it's also going to show me test coverage.
Is that an enterprise feature?
Yes, it is enterprise. Live unit testing is enterprise.
Double checking.
Yep. And then we also have a health check set up, and we can go through and do more advanced health checks in the future.
So I want to add another health check. I want to make sure that the YouTube service connection is correct.
That is a good idea. Okay. So I'm going to copy this.
Is that another test, or would it just be a...
Oh, you're right. It's a theory, right? It's inline data.
Yeah. Now, what's really going to bug me is if you... I don't know. Does it... Well, so here's a good question. You have health. Is it the same URL for all of your health checks, or does each of your health checks have a different URL?
See,
Like health, YouTube health, whatever.
yeah, you would want to have actually a different health check URL, I would think.
Okay.
So there's different ways you can do them. You could have one mega health check that checks all the stuff.
Yeah.
But I think a better way of doing it, like if you look at this one here, here's the database one. Let me see, use health checks, health. Yeah, I don't know. So this one, they're doing just one health check and it's just checking the database. I want to see one that checks multiple dependencies, right?
Oh, there you go. Health/ready, health/live.
Yeah. So this is doing one's a readiness check and one's a check to see if something's actually like live. And then there's other stuff you can say, like all kinds of, this is based on memory. Right? So, yeah, I don't know. I would almost feel like, I don't know. It depends how we're going to want to use the site.
Yeah.
Here, let me throw this over here.
I'm looking. I'm reading up blogs. I'm reading just blogs.
You're bored with this and you want to go read.
No, I'm reading random blogs on healthy or not. See what other people do. Yeah. Someone did /working.
Yeah. Well, so I'm feeling like to start, we can always condense it down.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to have separate health checks. One for, is the site responding at all? And then a separate one that's saying, do APIs work?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So for that, I'm going to start by separate method, and we can always refactor and make it prettier.
Okay.
And I'll say get YouTube API available.
And right? we could test this by probably passing it a wrong API key or something, which would fail.
Yeah. Oh, and this is actually going to be kind of interesting, right? Because so we do have a client.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to have to get. We're going to be getting it's just a get URL. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud here. So when we connect, but we're not pinging just based on the API. We're actually using the service, right? So if we go to our YouTube service.
Yeah, my question is like we have the this health check that you did /healthy,
mm-hmm.
right? And then the question is there like this built-in health check where like just how you were checking the database probe like to test that?
Yeah.
Could we just add another health check onto that, right? And or no?
You could. So yeah, if you want it to be just one big like, is the site healthy, and that includes everything, that's fine.
Yeah.
So in that, but normally a lot of time, my understanding is you want to like when you act, you want to check one thing.
Oh, I see.
Like, so I don't know. Here's a simple thing we could do, and this is just like being real simple here. But I could go here where we did YouTube service get shows, and we could just do get shows.
Okay.
And I think that would work. We would need to inject a YouTube service. And maybe I'm getting myself in trouble, but we'll see.
I'm not great at testing, so this is testing best practices.
Okay.
Maybe. So. I don't know. And Smobin, they asked, do we need credentials for this? Yeah, we actually have credentials built into our app settings JSON. So that's actually coming in. So that does work.
Yeah. So here, I think we would want a field, and then we'll inject it. Question mark. Well, so there's two ways we could do this. One is we could ignore our service and we could just directly call into the API. Mm-hmm. And that would verify that our app. But we're not doing that elsewhere in our app. So it does seem like it makes more sense that the service actually returns values, right?
Yeah, I mean, that service is going to be broken out into a function at some point, right? So really, we'll probably have some sort of controller that calls in to get it.
Yeah.
So what we'd want to do is like test that controller almost, that it was getting data.
Yeah. Okay, but at a start, we want, what is my YouTube service? It is of type.
iYouTube service. iYouTube shows service.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when we think of testing, it's like, what do you actually want to test? And do we want to test inside that method? Do we want to test that, you know, the YouTube API is configured correctly? Is it returning results correctly? Are we parsing things correctly? In general,
I feel like at the chunkiness like level of what we've built so far, it makes more sense to say YouTube service return shows.
And then we just do a call and then make sure that it has any.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So here's where I'm going to, like, my YouTube service actually needs to be, I need an instance of YouTube service, right?
Yeah.
And that's actually going to get harder because I actually need to create one and I need to set credentials, and we don't have all that stuff. Do we? Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah, we do. We do. Okay.
Yeah, the question is, if it's inside of the YouTube, if you go into the YouTube service, right, it has
all that stuff.
We pass it a configuration. The question is, would our XUnit tests get the configuration?
Well, that's what's cool about this is it's not just an XUnit test. It's running through the whole health check. It's running through, the HTTP client factory. So it's spinning up my site. You know what I mean? So it has access to the configuration. It has access to everything.
So you might do something like this almost. What if you did configuration right here?
Where are you typing?
I'm at that constructor level.
Yep.
And then can I bring in this? No, I'm getting an exception. Did I configuration? Yes. You might need to bring in that reference for me.
Okay.
Okay. And then what if I did?
I think you also need, how do we create our service? Is it a new service or do we inject it?
We inject it, but you could, right now we're using mock data in this. So you could just do this and create a new one and pass it the configuration, right? We're going to say, like, for this test, always use this thing, right?
Okay.
Like, this is the one that we want to test, right?
Sure. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then we can, rename this to just be factories because underscores, old school. There we go. And then, there you go. What did we think of that? Does that work?
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
And then here we can just do like,
we want to assert that shows is greater than
just any, right?
Yeah.
You could do assert true. Is there an any? No. Throws any true and shows dot any. That I need to bring in that link for me. And that's a IEnumerable. So should.
Nice.
Right? Is that right?
I guess. So normally, and maybe I'm old school, I would do shows dot count, greater than 0, but yeah.
Dot any.
All right. There you go.
Contains something.
It does. Yep. Okay. So now it's that. So now
I would be a little weary though that now we have live unit tests. The question is, how many times are we going to ping because now we're actually pinging the YouTube API.
Yeah.
Like, would we actually want live unit tests on this?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a great question. So maybe, I don't know. It's
probably not. I don't know. I'm curious if it works.
Run selected test. Following constructor parameters did not match fixture data.
I don't know what that means.
Did not have matching fixture data, so iConfiguration was not available. You know, what I'm thinking is, based on already we've got a concern of, I wonder if we should table this only because, like you're saying, we don't even know if we want to have testing against there.
Okay. We're going to remove it. Removing it.
Or do we want to comment it and say, like, nope, okay.
No. I like to delete everything.
Deleting is better.
I was working with Rowan. Rowan said delete the old code. Just get rid of it.
All right.
Okay.
So then we deleted that too? Okay. Well, anyhow, we've got endpoints set up. We may in the future, when we have our own API that is not, we just, this is where we would put it, right? So as our site is working against that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Part of what we're building too is a potential, like, this site is going to work against function backend. And so people could use this site standalone, right? And so having the APIs available is important. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's what we need to figure out is like, what in the long term do we actually want to test to see what's healthy or not? And right now, we'll do the bare minimum, which is just make sure the website's working.
Well, one thing we could do is we could test against our mock data.
Is that helpful?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Actually, that is weird because our service would have been calling into our mock data. I think we've got it set up so that it always was doing that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, right now inside of our startup.cs, it's doing. I'm way up. I feel blessed. I think it's doing the.
It is using mock show service.
Yeah, but I was creating just a new YouTube show service, and I think that the I configuration was not available. I think that might be something in the future.
So here's a question: is what if we did inject? What if we used our singleton iYouTube service, like we do in the page? It would be by default using this mock show service, and then our shows.any would have done that.
Could have been. Oh, so it would take in an iYouTube service into the constructor?
Yep. Do you want to try that? If we do Control-Z a bunch of times?
Yeah. All right, let me see. So you're saying take in an iYouTube service. Oh, Visual Studio is going to get so mad at me. There we go. All right, so let's see here. This dot this equals this. So we're saying like, hey, whatever the website is running, the iYouTube show service, it might be mock data, it may not be mock data, but make sure that this works. All right, so give that a spin.
All right, so. And again, I have not tested with this before, so we may need to, in order to make use of injected services, there may be other stuff we got to do. There's a very good chance of that.
Yeah.
Did not.
I think that it is expecting whatever this I-class fixture is, it's expecting something very specific.
Yeah. Let me Google this, and with the expectation that I'm going to give up probably.
Probably like you shouldn't do this. That's probably what it's.
Yeah, it's probably like stop doing that.
Like stop trying to test your thing.
In my case, it turned out.
Well, to be honest, the beautiful part is that. Oh yeah, I guess we do need that information, that I configuration stuff. So that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know.
So one other thing that we could do and like, I'm not going to obsess about this too much now, but we could actually have our health check could be testing a page in the site, and the page in the site could be returning, could actually be browsing, could return a number of shows.
Yeah.
So your health check, you're actually creating a page that says number of shows available 20 or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking originally, is that we would have like a health check, like healthy dash YouTube or healthy slash YouTube, and then it would check if the YouTube call was healthy for the website. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That was my
Actually,
thought.
that seems pretty easy to do. You want to do that?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but
All right. Well, so what's nice is we can basically copy this. Um, you know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
So then here we've got, so this is YouTube Health, I guess, you know. So,
Yeah.
and we could refactor, we could move this around, right?
Yeah. Would it just output? Yeah, I guess it would only show healthy, basically, right, or not healthy.
Yep. So this is all angry because this should be like,
Yes, Samo was asking if we could just create a mock YouTube in the constructor. The reason we couldn't create a mock YouTube in the constructor is because it also requires an iHosting environment, because it's grabbing a JSON file locally. So that's why it couldn't actually be used. So
yep.
yeah.
So here's a place where I did a refactor and it's helpful in some ways, but not. So it renamed everything in both places. There it is. I think that's good. So now I've got this is good. See, and you'll see here we've actually got these unit tests, live unit tests, which is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm. All right, I see now. So now we're in this YouTube health page.
Yep. Yep. So we've got the YouTube health page and we've got this, and this index model needs to change too.
No, that's in, now you're in the index CSHTML.
John, come on now.
Yeah, you're in the wrong place, John.
Yep. I'm doing a lot of Control Z's and Control H's and stuff. Okay, so this one.
Yeah, there you go.
What was that? Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you. Cool.
YouTube
so we've got
Health
YouTube Health CSHTML. We've got this. Let's build.
Yeah, so this one, what we could do is basically have a boolean,
it could just,
a string,
yeah.
right?
Yep. It could just return
like this. I'm going to do this.
Oh, wait, where are you?
I'm inside of your CSHTML.
Okay.
Okay. And then
I'm not seeing it.
Oh, .cs.
Oh.
Okay, so what we would do is on get, we would do this, var shows, and then we would say like try catch, right? And then here we could do, oh geez, trying to think of how I would, is being a little, live share is being a little wonky. All right, there we go. So we could do this, and then here we would say like status, and then what's the opposite of healthy? Not healthy?
Or unhealthy?
Unhealthy? It depends what our check is looking for. If it's just looking if it contains healthy or not. And then we could do, we just literally do unhealthy and then healthy.
If shows is greater than, yeah.
Okay. And then catch and do nothing, because we don't want it to crash. Would still be unhealthy because that means an exception occurred. Yeah. I guess the question is there like a logger that we have? Is there like an iLogger or something?
Yeah, there is an iLogger. You can configure it. It does take a few steps to hook up logging. Like there's already the console log is really easy to do.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
Depends what you want to log to.
Log this exception. Right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now we need to change where, because your status, you created a status string?
Yep.
Okay.
That's all that should be displayed on the page, right? Because we're going to follow that model of healthy, not healthy, or whatever.
Nice. Okay. So here we can just say return. We don't need any of this stuff. We can just return app model. Right?
Yep.
Okay. And then, so now let's, yeah. Cool. So now we could go into our health check. This one is YouTube Health is the URL. So we can change that if we want, but the easiest way is if you just go, you say browse to. So that's the route for the page if you do nothing, right?
Okay.
If you can override that if you need to.
Got it.
So now.
Yeah, and what this is doing is it's going to look for just content, read as string async. So just give me back the entire string of the page. Now, the question is this really best practice? Because what if someone just hits there and hits my YouTube Health over and over? I guess that's the same as refreshing your homepage.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you could cache it, and you can also put guards on it. You can say it's only available for certain APIs or whatever.
Oh, cool.
So this one, why is that not cover by one test? It's all there. Here, let's, oh, I did run test. That was not what I wanted to do. So actually, let's run that page and just verify that that works.
That's a good idea.
Run. Where? There we go.
There you go. When in doubt, where is this thing?
When in doubt, yeah. So we'll go here.
Oh, that's what it's called. All right.
Now here's the problem. So so the test failed because the output value was not that. Now you could do contains, right? But a better thing here is that we actually want to set the layout to null.
Yeah, because this is using the Razor pages, which is inside of the scaffolding. So we have all that scaffolding stuff.
Yeah, and actually I'm gonna have to look up how you remove that layout, because this is something you do pretty rarely, right?
Yeah.
So ASP.NET Core layout none. So this is where you'd say, oh, okay, so you do. I thought there was a directive. Razor pages.
Like how you only read the Stack Overflow comment from 2017 and then.
Right. Like forget that. So here,
someone said, so Sebastian says layout equals null.
There it is. This is the thing. That's funny because I had thought for some reason there was a directive, but no. Right. Okay. So here, I believe we can just do that.
But is that setting it equal to the underscore layout?
So here we want to do null.
Yeah. Sebastian says null. Well, because I think by default it sets it to that.
It sets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so good point. The reason that it sets it to that is if you look in the shared.
Sebastian says he's right most of the time.
Yeah. So here, if you look in view start.
Yeah.
View start.
Oh, I see.
Site, right?
Yeah.
So rather than setting it everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, and this makes sense because this is something. This is the easiest web site in the entire world. Basically, it's like literally nothing. Boom.
There it is.
Beautiful.
So now we could go back and hopefully our health check would pass. And that's funny because it's way over there because at runtime it moves it around.
Up.
Test Explorer. Okay, so we created a new one, didn't we?
Yeah, where'd it go?
So if I go to my health checks, I have to rediscover my health checks, I believe.
Maybe just build?
Sure.
Sebastian says, I missed some things, obviously, but having to set the layout to null to return a string scares him.
Well, yeah, so that's the other option is instead of doing that, you could say contains, right? So
You could, but
just
then it's also unhealthy. And what if you change? What if the name of your app is healthy? And then I just feel like that's the wrong thing to do.
Mm-hmm. So my test explorer doesn't seem like it's running that, right? Because we did browse to it. It did show the right thing.
Clean and rebuild.
Clean and rebuild. Are you really going to make me do that?
Yep.
All right. Clean. Where there's clean solution. See, I think that that's more of a Xamarin requirement normally. Like you don't run into that too much. I don't know what I'm doing with Xamarin, but when I've that was more of the time where it was like, oh crap, it's not working.
We fixed a lot of that, not all of it, but bin and obj files are odd. All right, so now what's in our test explorer? Anything? Not there. Oh no, that's it right there. No.
That's health check and that's endpoints.
Oh no, what did you do? Did you
probably the wrong thing? Oh, no, with all my Control Z stuff, did I?
You deleted it. All right, because that one is correct. Like you deleted the old health check and just
Where's so
now it's good. See, it's green.
Yeah.
So we actually need to, well, what we should
Copy
do here,
and paste that.
Well, we should just do this, right? So we should do an inline data, right? And then we should do slash healthy, right? And then slash YouTube health, and then string URL, and URL, right? And you change it to a theory because it's multiple inline data.
Yeah.
The theory is all this will work. Now let's see what. So now it should show multiple on this, but this should be, health checks return it. So. Oh, there we go.
No reference. 404 not found.
Oh, slash health. There you go. There you go. Boop, and we're green.
Let's rerun this.
Oh, Sebastian wanted to see our controller. Actually, we don't even have a controller, right? Because it's Razor Pages.
Yeah, for Razor, so we have a service. So yeah, so for this one, we've got a service. Your YouTube service, and the service is using the Google API to get a list of shows.
Yep.
We have a mock service that just gets from a file. So we inject that, and then we have this is our main page that actually lists them out. So we have an index model, and we iterate through and show them. And then here's that page that's going against the service and just returning a list of shows.
Yep.
So for our YouTube health one, and this one, like I would probably over time, maybe if we have more than one or something, I would think about moving this into another place, like put it in a folder so it's not cluttering that up.
Yeah, like health checks.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
And again, since we're like planning on moving a lot of this stuff into functions over time, maybe don't obsess about it too much. And
I think that'll be okay because still, now that we're testing an iYouTube show service, it doesn't matter if it's our mock or a real one or if it's an Azure function, because we want to make sure that whatever we implement, right, will do this. And most likely what will end up changing is that our mock or our actual YouTube service will remain here, but it'll just end up calling a function. But it still needs to return the data. So
yeah, okay.
All right, well, commit that code. Commit that code, yo.
All right.
Commit it.
I guess we're stopped. Yeah. So here, let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so one thing before is I got to rename this file, right? So that file, I had just left it as it's like unit test 1.
Oh yeah, and also it's just .test. Should be .tests.
All right.
setting.
But
There's
then,
multiple
okay.
tests.
Okay. I guess you're right. Rename.
Look at that. Paired naming.
Okay. So there's that.
Sebastian's all mad. He said it's an anti-pattern to use a razor page for this. Should be an
Well,
API.
see, yeah. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, some of this is we're going to be shuffling some stuff off. So rather than deal with all the things of injecting in the service to our test and all that.
Well, I think what we were doing is kind of trying to follow the health check pattern, right? It's not actually a unit test. Like, that's the thing, is it's not actually a unit test of it. It's more of a health check just to be like, is it good? Health check test.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe rename that file or the class name.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like saying, hey, here's a bunch of the services that the website uses. Let's make sure that all those services are active and good to go.
Yeah. So, and that was, I mean, when I had originally set this up, I was just like, we kind of freewheeled here. Like I hadn't planned to go in and test the APIs today. But it was a bonus, right? So
I like to throw wrenches in. And then what's great is that you can be like, hey, ASP.NET Core team, did we do this all wrong to the thousands of viewers that were watching us? And then they'll be like, yeah, you messed that up. And then next week we'll
I don't
fix
want to
it
ask
all.
them that.
I would. What do you think?
It's good. It's
all
good.
Right.
Okay, but the nice thing is here we can start, like, we've got this, if you've got enterprise here, we've got these live unit tests and we can see our code coverage as we're going, and we can kind of start working with that as we go, right?
Looks like there's 2 CS files in. Might need to delete that unit test 1. Yeah. Why is there 2? How'd that happen?
That's amazing.
I wonder if it's something with live share where, like, I had it open maybe and then.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay, let's commit some stuff. So.
Real interesting that you hit that plus button. I always right click on it and then I say stage all. I didn't even know what that button did.
Okay.
It's very fascinating to watch where people click. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a combination of things you can do with keyboard shortcuts or clicking a bunch of different places, or,
Yeah.
Added health. Check.
That's where we were at. So Sebastian just sent us the health checks API.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is what we did. But yeah, so some of what we did there was because we have a health check that needs to use a service that's injected and is a singleton service, and then there's ways that you can get to that, but there's a little bit of like, how much of that plumbing stuff do we want to do? And I think we're going to be ripping out and moving stuff around in the future anyways, right? Okay, so cool. Let's go into, but thank you, Sebastian. I always like.
It's also here now that here's what we do, right? So, so now what you can do is, now that you've committed that code, you can now send a pull request and then fix it for us because we're idiots. So
yeah.
And by idiots, I mean we're pretty smart, but we don't really know what we're doing in this area.
Well, okay, so it's 2:30.
Yeah.
I think, were we planning on going to 3?
Yeah, let's do it. 3:15.
Okay, so we could do 2 different things we could jump into next. One is show notes, the other is countdown.
Countdown.
Well, you want that countdown, huh?
Yeah, we've got a show upcoming in literally an hour, so.
Yeah, so a few things we could do. One cheesy way we could do this is we could just edit our mock data. Right? So we have our sample data here.
Yeah.
Right.
We could just say this one's in the future.
Right. So, and we could test a variety of things, including like, okay, so this one for today, I don't even know what our thing is. Today is the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the.
I'll grab the.
Are you getting the thing?
Yeah, I'll grab the ID for you, sir. Copy link. Boop. All right, let's go here. We'll go into this sample datas. Oop.
Yeah, so then this is interesting because our show date is in Tango time zone. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh no, this is this is the RFC time zone stuff, right?
I don't know what that means either.
Yeah, it's like I always have to look it up.
And
RF.
I don't actually know if this date is the is it the date in which the show is scheduled for?
Yeah, I don't know. We could cheese this out and just put like it's on the 19th.
That's true.
So there's different. I'm actually maybe going to surprise you quite slightly with this. There's different ways you can handle this.
Okay.
And one is, I think actually we're going to end up doing this the way that they're currently doing it on the live site, where a lot of this is actually done on the client in JavaScript.
Mm.
So all you really need to do then is return that date. And that may seem wacky, but the nice thing with that is it's going to localize it for the client, right?
Yeah.
So here, this one is upcoming. And we could do a few things with this. We could say like, if there's an upcoming show, then put something different at the top and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this could be up top basically and have a huge header kind of hero.
Yeah. Yep. Do you want to do that?
We can do that.
All right.
I think also we have those little tags, and I think we should have little tags like
Saying upcoming or something.
yeah, I don't
right?
necessarily love how it looks on the current ASP.NET website because we want to have tags
Mhm.
for like if it's Xamarin or ASP.NET or Visual Studio. And
Yep.
then so I think having a tag for upcoming, new, and then the topic, and by topic I mean, whatever.
Yes.
Sebastian says dates. Let the fun begin. Yes.
Well, so my thought on this is we cheese out some by using the current logic
Hmm.
and send that down. So for instance, if I go to so if you look at the live ASP.NET's current site, I believe that if we look here in the index, it's going to be showing it's going to be using like some JavaScript stuff. Right? So they have a thing that says that is interesting. There's an is on air, which is it, has it started? We're going to have to, this is going to be interesting to figure this out because the current site has an admin system where you go in and you actually say, yes, we're on the air or we're not on the air.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Whereas what we're planning on doing is saying, using YouTube's API to tell us what's going on.
See, I don't know. So here's the problem: is I'm looking at the YouTube show service
Mm-hmm.
and that show date, and if you look at that today in our code,
Yeah, let me do that.
so go into our YouTube show. So not that one, but the real one. So check me out here. So this show date is actually the published app. That's what we were using. There's also a published app raw, which gives a ISO 8601 format, which is probably what we wanted to do. But the published date is actually meaningless.
Yeah, we want the event date, right?
And I think that yes, I think we need to do a different query for this, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I think what needs to happen is we need to look at a YouTube API get event start time.
Where are you at? Are you in here?
I'm Googling it right.
Googling? Oh.
Yeah. So YouTube live streaming. So there is an API overview. Mm-hmm.
So now I'm not sure though, because, well, let's see how Damien. Damien gets it from.
Yeah, it's manually.
Yeah, we do it manually.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything manually. So
we want to get everything from the YouTube API.
Mm-hmm. But there is an API called Live Broadcast in general. So I think what we can do, so we're probably not going to get to this header countdown thing, but we should probably see if we can get the
like separately query for live broadcasts.
Yeah, so for each item on the page, we should try to get the show date correctly for it.
Well, that may be more than we have to, because so if we look at this, I don't care about the time for shows that happened a month ago.
Okay.
Right?
Correct. Yeah, you only care about future ones.
So that's going to be a lot fewer. I basically need to say, go get me the future. So I can have, here's the past shows and their past shows, and then I can also go and get the future shows, and maybe that's a separate query. Is there a query? Does YouTube API say, get me my upcoming events?
I wonder. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Boop.
It says, Vin says the YouTube model has a is live something in the props.
Well,
we're querying the playlist currently.
Yeah.
But I think what we need to do is, probably. I think I know. I think I know what we need to do. But
all right. Well, so what I'd like to avoid doing is making for each one go and make a separate API call.
Well, I'm hoping what we can do is we can say, give me all of my shows from inside of here, and then also give me all of my live shows. And then we'll have the ones that are in the playlist and the live shows, and we can match those together. You know what I mean? So hopefully it's two API calls, one for playlist shows and one for upcoming shows. Because the upcoming shows are in the playlist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in the computer.
All right. You want to go for it? Do you want me to start doing this?
Yeah, so I'm looking here at there's a live streaming API. And okay, here we go. So their YouTube API 3 is called live broadcasts, and it should return a list of broadcasts, I assume. So there's playlists. I'm curious if we do this. So what if I do down here? Let me do a new function here. I'm going to do a function on line 40, right?
Question, there is a live broadcast content in the snippet property.
Is there?
Vin says there's something in the snippet. Let's take one more look at the snippet just in case.
That snippet, though, is a playlist item snippet because we're querying the playlist. So maybe just right click and go into it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. There, use the power of IntelliSense.
You're right. Go to definition. So there's my snippet.
And one more time, go into that
playlist item snippet.
Yeah, I don't think it's there because it's a playlist item snippet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you get the show, it will have it. So that's why I think we need to get live shows. You know what I mean? And then probably what we need to do,
we could possibly even just concat. Like we can create, if we had another property that was like show date or something. Oh.
Watch this. YouTube service dot. All right.
Where are you at?
Go up. There you go. Boom. See what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Now the question is, I don't know what to get, but I assume it's a snippet. I assume. I don't know.
That's been our experience so far, right?
Yeah. So there's that, and then I think you could do.
You want to just run it and debug it and see what we get?
Well, I should. So here we can do broadcast status equals. What is this thing? Broadcast. That's a terrible enum name. Upcoming. Bam. So here, look at this. And then what else is on this request?
Yeah, but I would love it if we can say, go get me all of my upcoming shows versus, is this saying that we're going to call it multiple times?
Oh, I'm calling it once.
Okay.
We're going to go list It's gonna
Oh,
list
all the ones with
all
that
of them.
status. Yep.
Yeah. Now we can't be like what's in this playlist, but we do know we could say max results equals 25.
Sure.
Right. But what we could do here is we'll get the upcoming shows inside of here, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can do a return await request dot, what do we call it? Execute async. This is going to give us a live broadcast list response. Okay, cool. So watch this, right? It is, yeah. Now I just did this inside of here just so it's kind of like a separate thing. We could even unit test that if we wanted to.
Yeah.
So the idea, no, okay.
All right.
We got time for that, John. So var, and then we'll say live response, and we'll say await, and then we'll say get live shows, and we'll pass in our YouTube service, right? So now we have this, and then we should probably add a breakpoint and actually run and see what we get back. Because here's my thought, okay? We have...
no, wait, it's not happy here.
Oh. No?
So we're already in the YouTube service.
I'm passing it a YouTube service.
Why?
Because I need to get the live broadcast. Why is it?
Wait, I'm confused.
Works.
You're inside the YouTube shows service. How do we do it in this other one?
What does it matter at?
In this one, we created it.
I spelled it wrong.
YouTube show service, right?
Yeah, it's because our naming is terrible. YouTube show service, but the API from YouTube is YouTube service.
Yeah.
So this should really not be YouTube's show service. It should just be like show service. You know what I mean? That's really what it should be. Refactor.
All right.
We'll refactor that later.
Okay. So where are you at? Oh, there you are.
That's it. So I just got the live shows.
Okay.
Right. So here's my thinking. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. My thinking is that we'll go get all the playlist shows, which contains the upcoming shows. Right.
I don't know if it does.
We add it to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's a good question. Should we? Probably. We do today.
Yeah.
Like when we copy it, it will add it to the playlist.
We add it to the playlist so people get notified and all that kind of stuff. And
we want that because there might be Emo's live shows in there, and we don't want those. We don't want those in ours, right? So my idea here is that we can loop through all of these shows, and then for the show date, what we could do is we could create a little like watch this. You're gonna love this. All right, so I could do like
I'm still feeling like you're not going to have to loop through all the shows. I think you're only going to need to say if you could probably query these and you could say like shows where.
I think you do this. You do this. You do L. And it's like live dot ID dot snippet dot. Just go with me here. Okay, so this would be the, maybe it's the ID. I don't know yet, John.
No, I'm not.
John's hating everything that's happening right now.
No, what I'm thinking is
right
if
there,
it's
look,
in the past,
schedule
I don't
time.
need this.
It's correct. Yeah, no, this is good. This is good. Whoa, watch. You're gonna love this. I swear. I swear you're gonna love this. I swear.
Okay.
Now we need to check these IDs, but so where this dot equals item dot snippet dot resource dot video ID. Now I don't know if this ID, this should work, would hopefully match with this in a world, and if so,
first or default.
Yep. And if that's dot, and this would be the snippet dot actual start time raw, else string.empty.
Oh my goodness.
No?
Okay. I don't know. I guess we can see.
Oh, it's a
Well, the
datetime
compiler
offset.
doesn't like you.
Oh yeah, hold on. Datetime. I guess we don't need one. So min value.
Sure.
Well, you know what this should be?
I think it's a datetime.min value. Oh no.
It
You
should
can't
be
do.
it should be nullable.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do is then we do else. It's just null. It'll be null, right? Like it either has.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now.
I think we're making this maybe harder because we don't need to query every single show against this. We could we could say basically like is live and only for the one, or you know what I mean, is upcoming. And for the upcoming ones, maybe we do a secondary query.
I mean, we're not really querying. We already did the query here.
Right.
So we're just grabbing all the live shows. Follow with me. This is going to be this could be a string, but I'm not sure how to yet turn this into a string. But let me be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool. All right. I'm just going to say string, and then this will be a string in our show. All right. So here's my thought. Okay. So whenever we say, give me my shows, we're going to get all the shows from the playlist and all upcoming shows. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to convert those shows into our actual trim down shows. And live share ended. Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
No.
It did not. Well, so I love
like
what
that.
you're doing, but Visual Studio did not love what you're doing.
But hopefully it saved it. So here's what we're thinking. Okay, so go into the show.cs. Did that update?
Show.cs, yes.
Okay, so copy that show date.
Which this one right here? Wait. And so this is also, we're going to have to screw with that.
Yeah. So it's okay. So remove that question mark.
Remove question mark.
Yep. And then copy and paste that. The whole thing. And then make it a string and then say show date string. Just so we can test it.
Sure.
Yep. Perfect. Then go into the YouTube show service.
Yep.
Boom. And then change that to show date string.
Okay.
All right. Just
I like what you're doing. I have it maybe a different, lightly different take on it.
Okay. So here's what's happening. We're looping through all of the shows in the playlist, and for each of them, we're gonna say, well, we have the items, right? The upcoming shows, and find if this show exists. If this is the show that is a live show, grab the actual start time.
Yep. I'm not sure how to format this, but I feel the need to format it in some way.
Live your life. I put that on a new. Yeah, I like that.
Like that?
Sure.
I don't know. Nobody ever taught me how to format this kind of business.
No. Yeah, so else it'll be null, right? And then we could literally say, like, we know that it is an upcoming show if show date string is null.
Okay. So in order to test this, actually, this will work against our mock data, but this is our live service, so we'll actually have to change our startup to test this.
Yeah.
So let's go into there. Now, my thought is...
Yeah, go ahead. Because here's my thinking is that we don't want any admin where we have to manually enter a start date, because we already told YouTube when the start time is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So why have an admin portal to enter a time in which we already entered?
Totally agree with that. Yep.
Could be wrong. And what's your thinking on this? You hate it.
No. My thinking is that we could do almost the exact same thing, but we could do this query and we could do a link query where we say, if date string is less than, like get a query where date string is greater than yesterday. and only do this math for the future ones.
Well, the thing is, we don't know if it's in the future or not. We only know the published date.
Okay. All right. That was my thing. That was published.
We could say only do this. I think it's fast though, because we already have all the items, right?
Could be. Okay, so something failed, and that was when I hooked up the
unit tests.
See, there's our unit tests are like going like, hey, buddy.
That's why I don't have unit tests. I just want to run the website.
Can't break no unit tests if they. So here, let's just run the website.
Okay. Let's add a breakpoint in there too on 72. Oh.
I don't think I got it. Get live shows equals await, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's go in here.
This is good because I probably didn't do something correct.
Okay. Somebody didn't do something.
I imagine it's me.
I think there's a bug in .NET Core. Oh, and this is it's a singleton, so
seems good to be correct now.
Yeah.
Oh, the pages? I thought you could just refresh the page and it would hit it again.
Yeah, you're right.
The world. That didn't hit it. So get live shows. Line 69 is where the exception happened.
Yeah, that's funky. I'm just seeing it's saying login required.
Sebastian says read the error message.
Yeah, so the API authentication is probably what's going on.
Did you dump your authentication?
Google APIs. I don't believe I did, but
login required.
You know what? I think I may have. I got to check my Google APIs.
The question is, does the live streaming API require a login?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I'm reading authorizing API requests.
So mine says restrict key or don't restrict key. This key can call any API. I've given it permission to the YouTube API. But I wonder if there's a different permission we have to give it. So I'm changing it so I say don't restrict the API usage. Okay. We'll just see what happens there.
It says, go to the Developers Council, select the project you register, open the API library in the Google Developer Council. If prompted, select a project or create a new one. In the list of APIs, make sure the status is on for the YouTube Data API v3, and if you're a YouTube content partner, the YouTube content, I don't think that's us. It says, also noted, the live streaming API uses functionality that is technically part of either the YouTube Data API or the YouTube Content ID API. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so I have given it permission to the YouTube Data API v3.
All right, here's our problem. It says the API request must be authorized by the Google account that owns the broadcasting YouTube API. I'm wondering if we can't use the credentials. You know what I mean?
It's so it does work. Is the problem specifically for getting the live shows?
I'd imagine, yeah.
Let's verify that, just because, like,
put a breakpoint on 69, then refresh.
All right.
John really wants to stop and start. I can see it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so that worked.
That worked. So it's the get live shows is what fails.
I'm curious if you know how we're using inside of that, we're using the token. I'm wondering if
we have to use the OAuth.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
That'd be a pain, right?
Yeah. Oh.
API v3 events.
Unless there's like some other YouTube, maybe it's a YouTube event, and maybe like hopefully it's like some other. There is a live streaming, which is schedule live YouTube broadcasts and manage your broadcast streams. Right, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Right? I mean, that makes sense. But the question is,
Yeah, so it seems like the playlist API is a lot more kind of like loosey goosey, whereas the actual
yeah,
like
because there is a YouTube data API. That's the one that we're using to get the
mhm.
playlists. I guess the question is there a video API that we could query maybe that it is a video.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like there could be there's hmm, now we're back to this. I don't like this.
Yeah, because what we don't want to do is have to query every video, like you were saying, right? That was your fear, is like
Yeah.
we don't want to query every video just to see if it's an upcoming one.
So manage your broadcast video streams and all that. That would make sense to me that that is requiring that. I wonder if in the YouTube data API there's something else here.
Activity. The YouTube API get list of upcoming events. I guess it's a live stream. Search. Oh, I think what we could do, curious here, maybe we can use search. Ah, okay.
There's a search, a video search,
Maybe if you go into search there.
search requests.
Yeah, I'm curious if you could say, give me the event type. Like there is an event type in there. Reference. Like go into reference on there.
Where's reference?
Yeah, Vin says event type upcoming, only include upcoming broadcast. So go to reference on the top of that page. And then search. Search list. Yeah. So here we could say, oh, there's actually list live events. There's literally a use case for it.
Oh my goodness.
Show me the code, yo. Oh, there we go.
Event type is live.
So give me the snippet. Event type is live. Mine maybe equals true. Channel ID. Yeah, you give it a channel ID.
200.
Did it actually return something?
Yeah, it
Oh, because
did.
you're logged in.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the video ID.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Can you scroll down a little bit? Oh, there's a lot of things.
So this is showing like ABC News and all kinds of junk.
Oh.
Right. So you are right. We do need to give it a
channel. Can you do for mine equals true? I mean, that might do everything. I mean, we probably want to do a. No, that didn't work. You probably want to do a. Oh, this one's also querying
this
for
said
news.
news.
I bet that you want to do.
I wonder if I can do.
Yeah, Sebastian, yeah, we're looking for actual start time. Yeah, channel ID is what you need to set up top. So you got to go find your channel ID.
Okay. Did we already have that? Yeah.
I think it's in. Yeah, I think it's inside. My live share's down, so there's that.
So we have key, app name. We don't have channel ID.
Oh, we don't?
So I'm looking on a separate screen. I don't know if I need to.
It should just be when you go to .NET Foundation YouTube, and then whatever that channel ID is up top. Should be UCI. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Oop. Yeah, paste that puppy in there. Let's see. Maybe take off the for mine then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything went bad when I started doing that.
Yeah. And then did you set event type equals live or upcoming? That's what we want.
That would be even better, right?
Yeah. We don't want just live. We want upcoming. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Perfect. 3. Yeah.
.NET Design Review.
It.
This one is Visual Studio Stand-Up for the 20th.
Does it have the time, though?
So published at, I don't see it. Now maybe we can additionally set, like request that. Maybe it's extra data you have to include. Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't seem to include it, but there is a thing in here where you can tell it what data, you know what I mean? You can give it specific information you want returned.
It's like, I don't want publish. I want like the start time.
Right. Jerks. Work with us.
Yeah, give us the stuff that we want. Yeah.
And not the stuff we don't want.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. The thing should be actual start time. I think it's in there. This is the problem. I think, yeah.
We have to query individual. That's just.
Yeah, the question would be, okay, so if we, again, it wouldn't be the worst. It's running in an Azure function. Doesn't really matter too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, does a video even have an actual start time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or only an event.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that's what I was going to say. Should we search instead of upcoming, search for event? But I don't know. And then here, see this part. That's what I'm wondering about. Maybe if we change the part, it would give us more, we could set exactly what we want.
YouTube API get start time of stream. Broadcast, live broadcast lists. Yep, I think it's. I'm way up, I feel blessed. It says, yeah, docs live streams list. You know the exact time of the stream and what current length. Get the video ID and content details. That's what it says. Content details. Maybe you could query that as instead of the snippet.
Get content details?
Yeah, let me see what the.
Like that, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. What's that do? 400?
Unknown part.
Search. Content details is part of the video. The question is that content details? It's not there. Okay, so stupid.
What are my options other than snippet? Right?
Yeah, the question is if you go to videos instead of search, what if you go to videos, right?
Okay.
Well, you should grab a code from your do a new tab. Okay. Copy paste that thing. And then go to videos and then do a list. And then do part. And on that one, do content detail. Okay. And then do the ID. Let's go back over to the other one. The other tab.
Oh, and we have to get an individual.
Yep, I'm looking. Vin says you need to query the video specific.
Mm-hmm.
John's not happy, but we'll at least say, give me only the upcoming ones, make those requests. So where's the ID at? Snippet maybe?
It's interesting. Where are you, ID?
There it is. Nope.
Channel ID, snippet. Oh, there it is, video ID.
Boom. So now if we take that and put it in the other one, I guess it would be ID. Okay. Oh gosh.
So what do we got there?
Stuff. Oh, there's live streaming details. That's the name of it. Instead of live streaming details. This might be okay. I wonder if we can query all of our. Oh, this might be okay. This is good.
So this shows scheduled
Scheduled.
at.
Yes, perfect. Okay,
There we go.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so I don't have live share anymore because it disconnected. But I'm wondering if we can say, instead of playlist dot videos list live streaming details, and then we can just get all of them that have it, right? Like, I'm curious if we can say, if we have to only do a video, or we could do.
I wonder if you could do multiple.
Yeah, because
right?
it's a list. So instead of broadcasts, do dot videos.
Okay. So
right?
here.
Yep. And then do the live streaming details.
Here.
Yep. Now the question is, what would the request be? Like, what is on that request dot? Like, these are the parameters now.
Right. So
we delete that line. Else we're gonna have to do what we just did for every single one. But
yeah, so can I say video ID equals?
Yeah, but we kind of want to do.
Oh, yeah, can't we just get a list of what happens if you get a list of videos? You still do need to.
You just do. Give me all of them. Give me the top.
Yeah, well, so like if I do videos list.
You can do multiple video IDs. Says.
Is there any other, if I take this off, what happens? No filter selected. So we need either rated, ID, chart.
Or video ID. Interesting. Oh, chart. Huh. So the only thing that I think we could do, okay, hear me out, but we could say, all right, so instead of here, okay, ready for this? Go back to your code.
Yep.
Okay. And then do dot and then IDs on that request. Okay. Now this takes in a string. Now pass
comma separated.
Comma separated. Now pass in a equals, do equal, and then pass in a string to say IDs into the method, right?
Right.
Yep.
Thank you.
It really wants that to be that. Escape. There you go. And then pass that in. So now what we can do, that's going to return something different. What does execute async return now?
Video list response.
Right, so pass that back.
Not too bad.
Okay. And then, so now we're going to need to do something special, which is when we do get live shows, we need to also pass in a string concatenated.
Well, so this, I think, is actually going to get closer to what I was thinking, which is first we do one query, and then we say, filter this down for ones that occur in the future, or ones that are whatever. Like, don't do it for every single video ever. Or maybe we don't care. But whatever it is, first we do one query, and then we say, grab me all the IDs, and do a second query.
Yeah, and I think what you could do is you could just say, here's the 25, and then just say, give me the 25.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's 2 API calls, but we're only going to call it twice, right?
So it seems like first we say var shows equals that.
Yeah.
And then we say var IDs equals like, and then some link business happens here, right? Shows.select.
Shows.select.
And this might be select many. I always have to look this up.
Concatenate string C# from a list. Okay, so All right. So, easy peasy. Ready for this? String
Yep.
dot join.
Wait, so equals string dot join.
Yep.
Yep.
And then do comma separator.
Okay, so that's going to be right.
Yep. And then the parameters are going to be shows dot select
And then it's
ID. Lambda ID. Someone says pass the array instead of doing this outside. But
shows such that, or
just do show and then lambda.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, John.
Yeah, you're right.
Show.id. And then dot to array on that thing. Maybe that just works. Not on that one, outside of it.
Right here? Oh, yeah.
Works.
Duh, sorry. Yeah, I was in outer space. I was like, we
Bam.
don't have shows. Yeah.
Bam.
So now we could call into our other thing, which is called what? Get something?
Get live shows. Right there, up there on line 69.
Okay. Nice. Okay, get live shows. Get live shows. And then we do some other stuff. So it's 3:10 now.
We're so close, John. We're so close.
Okay. I'm a little scared. Okay.
All right.
No argument is.
Well,
Oh, and we also have to pass in the show service.
Yeah. Did you delete my other one? Go up a line. Right there, 69.
Cool.
You just
Okay, so
copy and paste that line, right?
And then where?
Then you could pass in the IDs. Sebastian was saying maybe you should pass in the shows and then let that method concatenate the IDs. I don't know. I feel like you're like, give me these IDs, right? So
Yeah.
And then what we could do here, Sebastian says he's right. I mean, I'm just saying, but like, the question is like, now that's a testable.
He's 200% right.
It's actually, I don't know if he's right because it's a testable method without having to. You could just give it any ID, right? That's the beautiful part of it. Yeah. You don't want to pass it all the shows. You just want to pass an ID. So, well, I think
Sebastian's
here
gonna have to go make his own website where it does it the right way.
Well, so now what we could do here is we could then basically loop through all the shows and the live. So maybe just return shows here, and then we can debug it.
Okay. Well, so we already have shows, right?
Yeah. You just need to return it.
So down here.
Yeah. And then we could just debug it and see if it does the right stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah. See if it works. Yeah.
All right. Dun dun dun. In 32 max value. That's how many % right?
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced.
I can see either side on this.
Yeah. Okay. So what's in our live shows then? You already hit the breakpoint. I think it's fast. So we should have some items in there, right?
I think we should leave people in suspense and say, like, come back next week. Okay. So here.
Yep. And then hopefully that one is the upcoming one. Live stream data. Ooh, fancy. That one's in the past.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to have to look. So maybe probably like way down at the end.
That's old. The question is, did you add the latest one into it? That's the question. Like, .NET Foundation.
Well, this one is actually calling. Oh yeah, this is alive. Did I add it to the playlist?
That's a good question. I'm gonna look right now.
Yep.
It is question mark. Upcoming live shows. .NET communities. It is not. No, wait. It is not in the .NET community stand-up. You added it to just the ASP.NET community stand-up.
I was not a team player in this regard.
Classic John. I think, at least. We're so close.
So I need to so you're adding it to that playlist?
Yeah, let me do that really. Let me log into my account over here. And then you can just, continue on, and then we can refresh this. Because I bet if you run it, I bet we won't see anything there, right? Because we should still see.
It should be the exact same. Nothing should have broken, right?
Yeah, ideally.
Ideally, nothing breaks.
In a world where.
Oh my goodness. I opened Firefox.
Oh gosh.
Okay. I have so many browsers happening.
Yeah, okay, cool. So no, like everything's working okay. So let me go in, and then we'll let you go. He's freaking out. He's got 30 minutes. He's got so much time.
Yeah, okay. So if you add that back in and I refresh this page, I should get...
I'm going. I'm clicking in the portal. Clicking. I'm not there yet.
Oh, come on.
I mean, the YouTube's slow. I'm clicking as fast as I can.
You're using up all my API calls.
I know. Oh my goodness. Oh, John, come on. The YouTube studio, I'll tell you, a little slow.
Yeah, every time I feel bad about my web application building skills, then I click around in the YouTube application.
And you're like, come on now. Okay, because what we're doing is we're querying it. So we're going to add that to the... We did the .NET community stand-up, save. And then, hold on. Please hold. All right, this one, .NET community stand-up, save, refresh it.
Go!
Okay, so now...
So now this should have 15 instead of... Or wait, the live response.
Yeah, so if you go in there, then the first item in the list, 0, should be the upcoming show. Yes!
Oh my goodness.
Bam!
This is crazy.
Uppercut.
Wow. Okay. So we've got some good stuff going on there.
This is amazing. We should put this in a branch, and then I can maybe finish it on Friday.
I'm fine with just committing it, right?
All right, commit to code. I don't care. Do it.
Nobody else is using this.
That's true. I don't even have the API keys, so I don't know if I can debug. You're gonna have to give me the API keys before I...
Yeah, well, or you can just go get your own.
Oh, wow.
And put them in your user secrets, and then we need to document that also.
We do need to document that also, yeah.
Okay, so
zinger. Wow, harsh.
Well, no, I mean in the now what? See, it's got unit test 1 again.
It was the live share.
It just wants to come back. It does not.
Oh god.
Good. I'm not live sharing with you anymore. You can't corrupt my application further.
That's right. This is good team programming. I like it.
It is. Okay, add it in. Some.
Also, I forgot to call it Vlad Halden Orlando Bloom, because that's really close to his name. I hope it really is an Orlando Bloom. And Ryan something. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If you like what we're doing here, in general, we live stream on Tuesdays and Fridays. Definitely hit that follow button, and you get notified whenever John and I go live, or I go live doing Xamarin stuff or ASP.NET stuff. Wow. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty good. I mean, we're kind of hacking the YouTube API.
We definitely are. And we're learning some stuff. And there are some things where you have to optimize for a lot of APIs I've worked with. There's things where it's like, you don't want to go get me a list and then hit it again for each one, if you can avoid that.
Yeah.
This is nice because I can do a common delimited list of IDs. Yeah. So it's 2 API hits. That's no big deal.
It's not bad. And that's what we would be doing anyways if we were doing it. The difference is that we're going to have to do a little bit more mushing of the data, right? Mm-hmm. Because maybe we create a new in progress that says, check live.
Get event data.
Get event data. It's not done yet. I want to finish this up, and maybe I'll finish up this on Friday because you're going to be gone. Tell people where you're leaving.
That's the thing. I've got some actual summer vacation coming up, so I'm going to be out for a bit. I think since Sebastian thinks he's right, maybe we can co-opt him and get him to jump in with you. I don't know.
Yeah, all you need, Sebastian, is a Skype, and that's it. And then boom, you can come hop on the live stream with me.
So for the get event data, there's a few things to do here. So there's the query event.
And then merge the data. And then there's also like add tags. Probably add a new thing like is upcoming or whatever.
Yeah.
And is live, right?
Yeah. Live view. And yeah, I don't know.
That sounds good. That's good.
Show upcoming.
Yeah, show upcoming. Yeah, because I guess how would we know if it's live? We would.
Yeah, so that's tricky. I don't know. Maybe the event tells you.
I guess
if it's actually
if we do a start time and an end time on it, which we usually don't do, then I think that we could.
Maybe we need to do that then, huh?
It could just be like, hey, we're gonna do an end time, or we can just say, hey, is it within the last hour? Then it's live. You know what I mean? Because we kind of end at random times. We would actually need to call an API. Like we would need some like signal R thing that's like, is this thing live right now? Is it happening?
Mm-hmm.
If the page was just there. Or what we could say is like, if it's live, it's, you know,
it's live for an hour and a half or something.
For an hour and a half. But it seems like maybe there's, or you're saying he does it manually or no?
Yeah, well, you could calculate it, but I bet there's also an API where you could say like, is the video showing?
That's true. Because I'm curious.
I mean, you'd think YouTube would have an API call that says like, is it actually live right now? Well, and we only have to make that query for one video at a time, right?
Well, yeah, because it is the next one. Well, I'm curious what happens. The next episode streaming thing, like in 23 minutes on live.asp.net.
Mm-hmm.
What happens in 23 minutes?
So you could, if you wanted.
Does someone manually go put a video there, or does it automatically know to do it there?
Yeah, let me see if I can show you without.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So are you saying what is the admin experience like right now?
No, I'm just saying like in 23 minutes.
Yeah.
If a video, because right now it's got a countdown, right, on live.asp.net.
Yep.
In 22 minutes and 54 seconds, does someone have to go do something to put a video there, or what do they do?
Yes. So I actually need to paste in the URL for it, and then I need to like update this, and that's the existence of that live show URL is what determines if it puts that embed up at the top of the page with the video.
And it's going to know in 22 minutes to put the embed via the URL there. But we'll know this. We'll already know this based off this data.
Yeah, if you wanted, you could you could grab an API key right now, put it in user secrets, and you could see what happens when the show goes live.
Yeah, then the other thing that would be of interest, right, which is how does it know to take it off? Do you have to go basically...
I have to go in and delete it from here.
Okay, we want to automate that. That's what we want.
Oh, yeah. Because I've screwed this up in the past where it's like, yeah, the show's live and I'm busy like doing my stuff for the show, and I don't do this, right?
Yeah.
So the show really was originally set up having multiple hosts on at a time.
Yeah,
and like one person would talk and one person would be doing monkey work. So yeah, absolutely. We want this to all run off the YouTube API, and it can just be like, the show's live, so just, do live show things.
Nice. All right, well, I think what'll happen next week is I'll try to continue on this stuff here. Maybe I'll just even do some more work, the next few days or even on Friday. But yeah, if Sebastian wants to hop on, or someone else from the ASP.NET Core team or something like that, and go to town, I'd be up for it. I'm here and we're ready. We need to get this thing done. We need to ship this thing by the end of the month. So
absolutely.
I mean, probably not by the end of the month, but relatively soon. Yeah. Cool. All right. I like this. All right. Well, you should probably go run off and...
We've got this ASP.NET stand-up thing.
Yeah. Where do people need to go? Live.asp.net?
Yep. And I need to update the site right now to put the embed, get that thing.
All right, well, I'll go to our webcam, so now no one can see your computer, so you can go do whatever you want.
Okay.
And they're there, yeah. And then Sebastian will just sit there and yell at me for 2 hours about how we did this all wrong. That's what's going to happen. Ugh. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So you can go to live.asp.net, or you can go to the Visual Studio or Twitch channel. It'll all be there. I'm at home, so I hope that everything goes swimmingly on here.
So Dan Roth is the ringleader.
He's a pro.
So he was just on this past week. So
pro moves over there with the Dan Roth. So that's good.
Yeah. Right. So now I've updated the site. So if you go to the site right now, it'll say standby starting soon.
Gotcha. Right? Okay.
And then, so cool.
So here's what we're going to do. John's gonna go, okay,
Yep.
but I'm gonna stay on,
Ooh.
and then we're gonna raid the .NET community stand-up, okay? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen, because we have 20 minutes. We don't want people to leave, hang out, stay, and then as soon as the Visual Studio one goes up, we'll end my stream, and then boom, go over and then raid you guys.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks, John. I'll go let you do setup and all that stuff. Look at this. And this is cool because every 2 weeks we could literally do this. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yep. And we're gonna see if my machine is set up at all to actually process to process ASP.NET. I just set up a new machine, so I'm pretty excited. I'll need to pull down the code and do stuff. But all right, John. Well, have fun. Thank you so much. No, we won't see you next week. Have a great holiday. Hugs, snugs, and we all love you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
See you, buddy. All right, bye. And we're back with me. Bum, bum, bum. Let's put some music on. Wow. Thanks, everyone, for joining on so far. We're going to go try to get this thing running locally because I want to work on this, actually, while John is gone. So let's go ahead and, there we go, get some music going in the background there. Bop, 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 bop. And then, yeah, as soon as it goes live in about 20 minutes, we'll just go and do that. So let's hop over to my Surface. Boom. Lovely. And then I just get to keep coding. This is good. Okay, so I haven't opened this thing yet. So let us clone a repo. Clone our checkout code. And then let us copy this puppy here. Clone that thing. I'm way up, I feel blessed. It's either LOL or 101 Palm. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I know, like 1 p.m. less. As soon as John leaves, boom. There we go. Productivity skyrockets. No, I don't know. Probably not. Or immediately goes down. All right. So now the question does become, I need to figure out how to create this secret JSON file, which would be cool. And I need to probably log into my YouTube account. Now, I actually have no idea how to do this, so I'm gonna have to figure that out because John refuses to give me his API keys, and that's just mean, really, when you think about it. So, kick out Sebastian. No. What I'll do is this. Watch. Okay, so, Sebastian Ross. VIP John Galloway, but I'll mod John Galloway. There you go. So now if Sebastian talks, he should have a nice little icon next to his name. We'll see if that works. But I do need to, we have this app settings here. Oh, look at that. Wow, that's fancy. But John, you're a mod, so you're up there. So John's saying that I can do add, if I right click, add user secrets, paste that in there. And then I need to get a key. Now John didn't tell me how to get a key. So we're gonna try to get a key, YouTube API. Key. Do we bow down to VIPs and mods? No, not at all. I don't know. I actually have no idea what John says. Let me pop up probably open this thing pop it open? There we go. Everyone just saw my sweet dashboard. There we go. And now I don't have the chat, so that's good. Awesome. So create API token. Creation. Look at all those points I'm getting. Videos, getting started. I'm not even logged in, so that's good. You need a Google account. Create a project. Gain authorization. API console. So let me go ahead and do some secrets here. I need my phone. Secrets. All right, John, good luck. May the force be with you. I have faith in you. Not do that. All right, cool. So I'm logging into my Google account. Okay. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to do creating an API key. Man, this is slow. I need to create a new project. Cool. All right. Google Play Android developer. New project. So all I'm doing, I'm just inside of my... Nothing's really happening here. I'm just creating a new project so far. We're going to call this a... I guess this will be .NET Live project. Okay. Create that. Then I need to go to this library. I'll show it everyone. I think I can show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm here. I'm pretty sure I need to .NET Live, and then I need to go to YouTube API 3. Got it. Cool. Thanks. And I do enable. And then this question is it going to show you my API key? Oh, it doesn't. Does it? It does. No, it doesn't. Create credentials. UPI, data API. Oh, what did we do? I think we did it from a web browser. Public data. Web browser. Bye. Let's see. User data. Oh, okay. Got it. Done. Okay. So. Perfect. Let's go ahead. I'm going to close all these things. This here. Done. Okay. Cool. All right. Now we're back. Okay. So if I go into the services, what I was hoping to do is do something like this. Okay, so we have our shows that are here. Yeah, I guess that what we could do here is, I think I'm going to go with Sebastian. Don't tell anyone anything. There should be an IEnumerable of shows. So if I do... I'm going to do IEnumerable of show. I'm going to do shows. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this, because I want to merge this together. Get and merge live shows. Get and merge live shows. Because if you don't call this, then you don't need to do anything. So we're going to get all this back. And I guess this should do maybe nothing. And we're just passing in the shows, so we can just update the shows. So here I'll just say var live shows. Show data. Yes. Maybe is live, is upcoming, and update it in its methods. So I think what we want to do is probably in this show data, there's is new, is in future, which not super helpful because the show date is not actually accurate. This really needs to be show date. Yeah, this is correct. So what we need to do is new, is in future, is live. They're all live streams. So just bear with me here. I think what we could do is we could say for each var show and shows. I might refactor this. I'll say var live data equals live videos. So videos. Video data. Videos data, live data. I think it's dot items. Do that. This will be videos dot first or default, and then this would be the show. This would be video dot ID equals show dot ID. And so that's going to be the live data for this show. And now on air, yeah, probably. Well, yeah, there should be an on air probably. Is on air. Is new, is in the future, is on air. So, and then that would be if there's an end date. So basically, but okay, let's do this. So we have videos. This is the live data, and I'll make sure this is bigger for everyone. I do apologize on this new machine here. So our live data has live streaming details. This has the end time and it says a date time on it. I wonder what that date, this date time is always. I don't know which one we want. This one is always ISO 860. The question is, yeah, does this store, what does this store this in? So if I do var date, it stores it in UTC. Okay. So then what we could do here is we could do show dot end date equals new date time. We store it as a date time offset. Oh, dot value. We could do if so here we can just say if live data equals null, continue, else we'll do if live data dot actual dot has value. Boom. It is a date time already and a date time offset, so okay, so actual start time, show date. See, I don't really love show date. I think it should just match it, right? It's like start time. Start. You could use datetime only. You don't need datetime offset. Date time. Again, then we could just do this, right? And then we don't even need to do the has. I guess it always needs some data. Now we're just getting risky. Oh yeah, UTC now. Good, good, good. See, Sebastian's gonna be able to crush it on air. So in this one, it would say is on air is if start time is greater than Daisy's time and end time, I guess, is in future. Well, I guess this would be if this is greater than the start date and the end time, end date is less than the date time UT now. For all intents and purposes, right? It's already started, and then this and that. Yeah, so. And then, yeah, we could just do. Oh, no, I actually do need that. There we go. I don't understand why you are updating the end and start times. It's fine to keep the scheduled ones. Oh, yeah. So I'll explain to you. Okay, so when you get the shows back in here, the snippet, it is so right here, this show data, this gives you information based on when it was added to the playlist, which is not necessarily what you want. So what we want to do is see when the show started, and that's why we need to update these. Yeah, because this is what we do here is we query the playlist for items, and we get all of the items. So it's going to give us future and past events that are coming in. So not to the playlist item. So what we do is, instead of just giving me all of my items, I say, give me all of the items that are in this playlist. So get shows. And then, yeah, so it gets all the shows. And then what we need to do is, for all of those shows, we need to get their live data, because it's not in that snippet, because the playlist doesn't know about it. But this data does here. So if I go in here and if I run this and hope that it works, what we should see is that I'm going to say, give me all of the live stream details for this information, and then we're going to update this information here. Basically. Now I could set the is on air here, but probably, I don't know. I mean, we'd probably have something inside the browser that was checking if it's on the air nonstop. Like, there's not actually a... Okay, let's look. I'm kind of curious what's in it. It says, by updating your start end, now it means different things in different contexts. I mean, maybe. Depends. Well, this is the scheduled. This is the scheduled time that we set. Does that make sense? That's an interesting IP address, or that it does. This is the scheduled. Yeah. So I'll show you as we go through. Okay, so this live data that's coming in, this actually is the scheduled time. Okay, watch this. So you'll see what I mean here. So the show, we didn't set it, of course, but yeah, we didn't set it yet. Actual start, end. Yeah, so inside of here we have the live data. And the live data is going to tell us, oh, scheduled. Oh. Sorry, I didn't realize that there was a scheduled and that there was an actual end time. I see what you're saying. I see, okay. I see. Yeah, so if we were to look at a past one, that's good. Okay, so I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying now. So this should be a past one here. And the live data from that past one is going to be... There was the scheduled and the actual. Okay, so all we really care about inside of here is... I see what you're saying. Oh, there's actually a concurrent viewers count. That's kind of cool. So actual schedule time and actual end time. I see. Got it. Got it. So if we go here... Oop, I just double tap that somewhere. There we go. So actual end time. Actual start time. And then scheduled. We don't really care about the scheduled end. But here we can say if it's new, then we could say that the doesn't really matter. Oh, that's true. We could say scheduled start time. And then here would be the actual start time and if the actual start time exists and I think this should be that. Is on air. Yeah. Yeah, so you could do like if actual start time dot has value and well, so the interesting part is if the actual end time does not have a value, because then we know that it's actually on air. You know what I mean? Now the question is, how often do we update this API? So, you know, every 5 minutes, every so many minutes, hard to say in general. So good to go. But I think this is looking better overall. So this would be the actual end time. And here, we don't even need this anymore. Boom. Old sessions could have this data, but then it wouldn't be in the future, right? The actual start, if the daytime is greater than the actual start time. You know what I mean? I think this is, we'd need some logic for that probably. But you could do if show dot scheduled start time dot has value. Oh no, it's just, what is that? But it has to have a scheduled value. Oh. Bam. No, you need end 2. Scheduled start time. Oh. Darn it. I mean, it has to have a scheduled start time. Something like that. So, because it's on air, like the actual end time would be there as soon as it ended. So you don't even need to check it. You know what I mean? Like there is no end time until you end the stream. So there's that. So that's kind of cool. All right. Well, I think that's better in general, right? I mean, seems good. On air, if it's actually started, right? And I mean, you don't even need this. If the start time has a value and it hasn't ended yet, then it's on air. So, and it's in the future if the scheduled start time is greater, right? Boom. Yeah, is new means it's in the future, and the scheduled start time is there. And you could do even this. You can say and is on air. Boom, and then you can run this again. Try to slang some code. Oop. Let's see. And then we need to go raid this channel, so we need to raid it up. Okay, so let's just double check it really quick. Then we're gonna go watch this channel. Yep, so scheduled start time. We could literally check this show that's happening right now. Let's see, now it has an actual... Oh, interesting. That's crazy. So here, well, look at this. This is the show that's happening right now as we speak. So the live data... Wow. Okay, so here's the schedule time. And look at this. End time and start time are the same. Interesting. Or did they mess it up? Did not set the restart. They messed it up. Someone didn't do something. Streaming? Yeah, someone didn't set the restream. John? Yep. You know what they did? They stopped. What did they do? I'm like watching the video.
Community stand up. We have a special show.
Yeah, it stopped. What happened? I don't know what happened. I'm gonna go to the Visual Studio channel. It is offline. Huh. I'll ping John. Yeah, they're definitely offline. Lasted 18. Okay, so this is actually correct then. Then it is actually offline. What happened? Maybe the internet in Redmond went down. I have his number. I just texted him. They're probably freaking out. Now they're like, what do I do? John needs to schedule a whole new episode. And then, yeah, well, this is good because it definitely did end. So, oh, and then I should have done another one. Oh, gosh darn it. Good thing I'm just crushing some code. Oh, it's very upset at me. Nullable object must have a value. What do they do? So if this has value... Oh. Oops, this should not be here. No. They should have reusable setup. Yes? I don't know how it works. It should... Scarlett says they should have a reusable key. Yeah, it's a key per event, and that key is reusable, so they have to reselect the event. But I think that in Restream, since we restream out, I don't think that works. I think that they need to create a new event and then go to it. So, well, that event did end. Good. I'm gonna go to the next one, and the next one here has no data, and this is happening on the 20th. This is good because, yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, Restream. So Restream, you have to pick the event and then go to it, so it's a little bit tricky. I think here what we could do is, can I do shows dot? So I think here, once we have this data, we should be able to say shows dot order by now what we want to do here is we want to do this by the scheduled start time, because we may add the items in not the correct order, so this should be the scheduled start time. And I don't know if is it by descending? Okay, cool. I always forget because it's the latest first. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like they did it correct. I don't know what happened. Are they live again? Let me look. I don't go into the office for one day. Maybe I need to ping them. Oh geez. Maybe it's an audio problem. So we merge them. Now that we have them, we order them by scheduled descending. This is good. I like this so far. So you said update the method name. You don't like it? What did I call it? Get in merge live shows. Update live tails. Just to match what it's doing, right? I think that's really what it's doing here. It's just going to query them, get it. Let me see if John is. Okay, so I guess it would create a new one. Yeah, the other thing is, like, if they just start the stream again, it would push them through. So I'm waiting for an update. I don't know what happened, John. There is new. Can you show a calc for that? Yeah, so we're going to show a calculation for that. If it's new, it's not in the future, it's not on air, and it has happened within the last 14 days. Basically. That's the idea. And I like to drop these down. Line these up. That's good. Let me see. Yep, he's pinged me. He said, it looks like the live stream died. Yeah. I was debugging and I saw it go down. Pretty sure whatever I did had nothing to do with it. Yeah. Oh, new and in newly streamed, not newly added to. Correct. Yeah. So it's a new. All right. So if we go to live.asp.net, we would want it to say like. It is new, but I would want it to say upcoming, right? Like this is new, that's new. So how is the unexpected situation to be shown in the UI? Unexpected? What do you mean? I think else it's in the past, right? So that's there. And then we also need to do some other scrubbing in here. So really, what we could do is on each show and have a public static class show helpers. I'll do a public void clean show this show. And then we want to clean the show. And then public static void. Now Visual Studio is hosting you. That can't be right. Or is it right? Everybody's in. Well, it would. Yeah, if you have both of them open. Yeah. Because what will happen is if they go offline, eventually it'll rehost me in general. Yeah. So there's probably some like trimming down of what we want to do here. So we want to say like switch. I think it should be starts with, and then topic. Yeah, the stream. Oh, the stream is back to starting soon. Okay, cool. I have faith in them. Also could be tooling. I'm going to show like a little topic on there too, and then this will be Visual Studio. Then Xamarin. There could be a languages and runtime. Gonna do languages because that's good enough. Okay. And then the last one would be probably desktop. Maybe it's just desktop. I forget what we called it. So it's gonna clean the show. This will be desktop. Then could be anything, I don't know. And then the last one would be cloud. We no longer do the cloud one, but just in case, it should probably be like cloud. Okay. Be interested. There we go. See if they're actually streaming. Oh, are they still offline? What are they doing? Oh gosh. That's what happens when things go wrong. That's live. Oh. Is that live? Helping John as much as I possibly can. Oh my. Alright, it looks like they're maybe getting started. Ah, they're getting it. They're getting it. So the thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to, like, if you look at what this shows up here, like, that's not actually the name of the episode. The name of the episode is this. So I think what you want to do is this. We could do show dot. I'm way up, I feel blessed. Walkie, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And then what I'm going to do here is just so I don't do a short title. Okay. What we're going to do here is do like short title equals show dot title dot split on that operator dot just split on that. No, I guess I need to do it on this dot. I do last or default. I mean, I got link in here. I'm pretty sure that's a link thing. No? Yes, no? Yeah, there we go. Last or default. So we'll make sure that we organize all the names by that split so we have it there. So now what we could do is if we're running this inside of our pages, we look at our index, and then instead of doing the title, we do short title. Bam. Still think grabbing the tag off the basic info of the show is better than the title matching. The basic info off the show. Well, so the idea is that we'll put little badges on there, but there's no way for us in the YouTube API to add metadata on there. Oh, there's like a tag on the show, maybe? In YouTube Studio. Good question. All right, well, I'll figure that out probably later, but this looks not better. Oh, I didn't scrub it. That's why. Okay, so what I should do is, this is probably not the right thing to do, but I'm thinking of saying what did I call it? Clean show. There we go. Just thinking that. I mean, this is not pretty, and I should probably do this a better way. Like, there's a better way to get this, actually. Yeah, I should do... This is stupid. This should be get short title. Should be a string. And this should also be this. And this would be get topic. This would just be return. This basically. And then do that. And then really, we don't need any of these. Else return string dot empty. Okay, cool. So then what we would do here, instead of looping through all these like a crazy person, we would do short title equals item dot. Oh, I don't have it yet. Ah. I can just do it on a string. Yeah, because it's just a... title. Title. We'll see if John likes this or not, but we'll see. Then after we do this, we'll go ahead and raid that channel over there. Let's see here. There should be item dot snippet dot right. Oh, dot title. Could probably even be on the snippet, I bet. But like that, right? Then we run it. Boom. I think that is probably what you want to do. In YouTube you can, yeah, tag. I should probably do the tag on the show. I'll look in that, but then we would have to have the old shows anyways. Ugly on title. Which part? I hate you for not using curly braces. No, you don't need it on it. Look at that. That's so much better. Well, that's bad. We don't have a title on it, so that's bad, but that looks cool. Looks much better. And then we'll do little tags and stuff like that and whatnot. You don't need the crazy curly braces. But I agree. I don't think that this should be on. This should be on the title dot get short title. Should probably be on the snippet. But then really it's like it's really on the string, so I don't know. We'll see what John says. I'm gonna commit this code and then we'll get out of here. Oh, I can't even, I'm not even logged in. Oh gosh. Do I have cleanup merging of live show data? Can I push that? I don't think I have GitHub installed. Does that work? Okay, I'm in. All right, let's go raid that channel over there. To hang with me while we transition over there. Ah, that actually merged. That's cool. Sound is super low, John. Reading everyone's in multiple places. All right, cool. All right, well, thanks everyone for hanging out with John and I. Thanks everyone for the follows, for the new subs. John and I will be coding yet again probably next week. We'll do some stuff. Let's go over to the Visual Studio one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a raid. We'll play some outro music over there, and then we'll go ahead and rate it up. All right, cool. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll be back on Friday, and probably have Sebastian, who will clean up all this code and do crazy things to it next week. We'll see if that works out. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Friday, 2 o'clock Pacific. I'll be right here, and let's head over to Visual Studio and check out that goodness over there. All right, cheers, and stream.